did the little pirush on it. Let's look at the on page Kuf Mem Zion in over there. Let me see if how I'm set up. Okay, let me push this back there. Okay, and okay, so the Kuf Mem Zion. Now here's a little introduction here. I guess we'll do the introduction and then we'll read this part. I don't think that the notes down below the Makoros Tzionim, except for the last one, are particularly enlightening because they're really source references, most of them. So he said the introduction is Achar Shishim Siyam Levayir Inyan Takas Hadinim Bagavuras the Bechinas Tohu. So that's this period of the Nikudim. Chasadim and Nikroim Or, because there's too many Chasadim which were called Or. Shemizgalim Beyichud Elyon Besod HaOr Kitov. So I'm trying to remember this a little bit, but I'm not so clear. He says, Yivor Ata Inyan Tikun Arba Partsufi Atzilus Shel Olam Atikun Shehein Abba Ve'ima. So now we're going to start here, and we're starting working about the 4 Tikunim of Atzilus. Abba Ve'ima Zar V'nog. Yivor Ata Repetikun Abba Ve'ima Shelo Hava Mashgichem Apin Ba'apin. I guess that means they weren't looking at each other. Lo Hoya Mashgichem Zera B'zeh Panim B'panim. They weren't in that position. In other words, they were turned away. B'olam Matohu Canal. So this is that's the situation of the Olam Matohu. So apparently we got through that. V'ata B'olam Matiku. But now we're in the Olam Matiku. The Chlalim Abba Ve'ima Zeh B'zeh. So now they're Nichlal. Now they're one. Besod his kalas shtei ozios of Yud, and he spells it like this: Yud Vav Daled K Aleph Shel Shem Havaya. It seems like when they write the letter K, they a lot of times like to write it K Aleph. Maybe it's not confusing that way. I'm not sure. Shel Shem Havaya. U'mischabkim tamid kshnei ohavim, and they're constantly clinging together in the name of this. They're like lovers. So therefore these two words, achsa is lashon like brotherhood, I think. Modata refers to chachma. Modata shehem lashon achava, so brotherhood or kurva and closeness or relative. They're related somehow or something like that. So now let's go over to the beginning here. So he says achasa umodata, achas and moda, those two words, shehem abba ve'ima. One is abba, one is ima. So it sounds like the word achos or achos. Excuse me, I read it wrong. Achos moda sounds like this is lashon brotherhood, which is more platonic, I'd say. Ki Abba Shehu Chachma Nikra Achos Ve'ima Shehi Bina, so of the Nikra Moda, and she's called Moda. Now, what the meaning of Moda is, how that works together. I mean, maybe the knowledge appears from her, something like that. I don't know. Commotion Emra Mishli is Emra the Chachma Achos At. So let's say to Chachma Achosi At. You are my what? My brother, my sister. Moda the bina hanikra, and moda goes with the bina hanikra moda the bina tikra. So that's the rest of that. Ba'achos and moda became lashon achva v'kurva. So we said that before. For Inyan who is like this, it goes like this: kalilin dor b'dor. Let's look and see. He says how they're actually incorporated one with the next. He says ka'ava v'ima kalulim zeh b'zeh. So they're incorporated one with the next. Whoa. So this concept of those two, of achva and kurba, so moda apparently means kurba in some way, I'm not sure. Below shum period klal, and there's no separation in them at all. So you actually see this in the words, in the letters Yud and K. Hem kululim yachad b'shtei osios Yud vav daled and K aleph. So the two of them, this is the combination that you're talking about here. Shel Shem Havaya. Ki Os Yud Hu Chachma v'Os He refers to Bina. So they're actually included one in the other. They're incorporated. You have to look at them, you'll see that they're together. The bina is incorporated in a letter yud. Shal chachma v'chachma kalula ba'os hey shal lebina. So you can find those, and you'll see that. This is what the Sefer Yetzirah says. Havein b'chachma v'chacham b'bina. So he says that these two are combined, and what's to say that they're combined? Behind the Behuki Chachma who owes Yud b'milui. So let's look at Chachma and understand os in this way. You have a Yud and then you have a Vav Daled. So for os is Vav Daled shall b'milui na'asa bechem tzuras os hey. So you could make them into a hey with a Vav that say we see over there in this book in the Kabbanis and Sifra that the Vav appears without, let's say, like without that little tip on it. So then you have it just sticking underneath the daled, and you have a hey. Shall amidu in the atzabechem tzuras os hey shall bina kitzuras os hey mur keves mishtei osios do, because it's actually a combination of two letters. The two letters are daled and vav. So here you have these two now. So we see in the letters ki ba'os yud vav daled or yud b'milui kolulim yachad shtei osius yak yud and k shel chachma bina. So you could see there, therefore, that the vav in the daled part of the yud vav daled makes a hey. Zechu sod havein b'chachma. So this is the bina, the hey that you find in the yud when it's in a milui kolomar shecha bebina kolula b'socha chachma v'hu b'bechin shtei partzuvim midikroyim abba v'imeri loin. So this concept here then shows that abba v'imeri loin is the combination of the two of them based on the letter yud. The Gmo came ba'os hey. Now you could do the same hey. Now he's not. I'm just noticing that he doesn't spell it hey aleph anymore, because I think that would be confusing to this drush. He says kain ba'os hey shall bina yesh ukub. There's a little ukutz. There's a little a point. B'tzuras os yud b'kerem zavis melamala mitzad yamim. So look at it on the right side of it. On the right side of it, there's a little tip over there and a little ukutz. This is the chachma, which is joined together ba'os hey shall bina with the hey of bina. So this is like the little tip that's in bina. Bina is definitely the hey. So he says, and now you have this tip. That's the yud. So that's the chachma bina v'hu b'bechin shnei partzufim midikroyim Yisrael Sabbat Tavuna. So he says, now this is actually not Abba v'imei loin, but another section which is called Yisrael Sabbat Tavuna. V'omer od, it says like a katrin rechimim, like two lovers. So he says, ki Abba v'ima hem kishnei ohavim, they're like two lovers, he says. So he says, shehem tamid ba'ava, they're constantly in love. V'reyos and friendship are what all the things that go together and simcha together. Zechem ezeh. Ki l'chein nekroyim Abba v'ima reim. This is why they call Baled and Shir Shirim. Is dabkan and there is chabkan, but there's also a combination in which they're hugging. Mischavrim zechem besod chibuk, which is a hugging. Ba'ofen she'ena chibuk nipsak mechem la'olam, in a way like this, is that the chibuk, this hugging, is never stops with them. The af partzufi Yisrael Sabbat Tavuna, because there when we're talking about the complete combination of them. Which is a lashon yichud, that was referring to Abba v'imei loin. But also they she'ein lechem zivug tamid, where they don't have a continuous yichud. It's not a pure yichud. He says im kol zechel la'olam yesh lechem bebechinas chibuk v'hiskal l'zeh, but nonetheless they are still incorporated with each other. And they're all hugging, so to speak. It's a preliminary stage in some way. Let's see what he means. Afal gav the oz hey rishona the gavavaya shel Yisrael saba v'tavuna. So that hey refers to Yisrael saba v'tavuna. The fred is min oz yud, and they're not really part of the yud combination. Shal abba v'ima Eloi, and what we found over there. V'n'asis oz hey b'fnei atzman, it becomes a hey by itself. V'hainu kedei lirmo shel Yisrael saba v'tavuna. So in order to give you this reference idea, Ein lechem zivug tomid, they're not continuously in a state of zivug. Kamo Abba v'ima Elohim, like for example, Abba v'ima Elohim. Amna b'kol zos, but with all of this anyway, Hine Yisrael Saba mechuber tomid b'tavuna. So they're always attached in this tavuna state, that Yisrael Saba is always attached to tavuna. But so the uketz b'os yud, that's the concept of the uketz that's on the yud. So in the first case, we were talking about the yud just by itself. And for the yud by itself, you could see chokhmah and bina. Over here, the hay is by itself. And now you have a reference to, in the corner of the hay, you have a reference to Yisrael Saba. The hay represents the category, I'll call it, the category of bina. Shebekerman zaviz yamim shall oz hay, that's what you find it. Even though that we know that there's yichud between Yisrael Sab and Tavuna, but even so that they're incorporated one with the next, but it comes out that Yisrael Sab and Tavuna, but nonetheless they're still attached. Now, so I went, what's the time here today? What time are we finishing today?
6:14.
Just in 9 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, so we better stop here to look at the other one. Okay, so that's the time. So, okay, so we're going the other way now. I guess we're losing time on the back end. All right, so I'll make a mark here and stop this.